Hello, Admiral Thrawn here. I'm making a video laying out the first men rosters for my upcoming mod, Age of Petty Kings. It takes place several, like, 1,000 years before the Game of Thrones saga and whatnot. You're probably familiar with it by now if you're watching this. Yeah. So I'm going to be showing you the first men rosters. This is a custom map, by the way. It's called the God's Eye, which, believe it or not, is named because it's next to the God's Eye. Right there. And so I'm going to show. This is House Bracken. They were kings in the Riverlands before the Tullys and whatnot came to power, and the Mudds earlier than that. And so and then they're facing off against House Mooten, who were an Andal house from Maidenpool. And yeah, so I'm not going to show you the whole battle here. Mostly, I just want to give you a feel for what you can expect from the first men roster, and what their forces are going to look like, and whatnot. So. This is not a historical battle that I'm going to include in the actual release. This is just a little thing that I put together, though that being said, I might put together like a Battle of the God's Eye or whatnot. That'd be kind of cool. I think I probably will. But regardless, though, this is not that. This is just a little thing I'm putting together. Just sort of while I'm laying out the units, I'll say that progress is coming along very nicely. I would say, I don't want to say when to expect a release because I've given those sort of deadlines in the past and never managed to keep them, and I don't want to become a new George R.R. Martin. That being said, I would say that soonish is a good guesstimate. But yeah, so anyways though, I've already shown the Andal rosters in a previous video, so you can look those up if you want. They're a lot of fun. So as for the first men, now, one major technological disadvantage the first men have is they don't have pikemen. They have these sort of spear phalanxes that are still sort of a phalanx, but they aren't very long. So when they go up in the fight against Andal pikemen, they're at a huge disadvantage. That being said, the Brakeland factions like the Mootens don't have pikemen either. They use halberds. But if they face against factions from the Reach of the Stormlands or even the Westerlands, they'll be in trouble. On top of that, their cavalry isn't all that good. These here are some Bracken horsemen and all. They don't have knights because knighthood is a thing for the Andal faith. It's like the Seven, and they worship these guys worship the old gods. So they have okay cavalry, but nothing close to Andal knights. So you may ask, how are the first men going to fight if they don't have any of that? Well, first off, they have very good heavy infantry and all that. These are some sort of some warriors. Here are some levies and all, they're just sort of standard. Then they also have some of their elite, warriors here, wielding these massive axes, the Bracken champions. By the way, so all first men rosters are pretty much the same. I might add some AOR units later on, but for now they're basically just sort of, they all pretty much use reskin versions of these guys. Well, as you can see, just a little thing here. So the Brackens, they control the Brackens, Stonehenge, as well as Pink Maiden and whatnot. But the biggest reason the first men are going to be fighting pretty darn hard here is they have the best archers in the game, specifically these Wirewood longbowmen. These guys basically just massacre everything. You can see like these massive casualties the Mootens are taking here on their advance. You can see all these dead bodies here. Basically, I've made archers relatively more powerful in this mod, just in general, just because I think archers are sort of shafted in a lot of Medieval 2. But basically, these first men archers especially are absurdly OP. They're the best archer unit in the game. They're also the one unit that takes a full 3 turns to train, so I mean, and they're also really expensive, but they're worth it. They are really, really, really strong. So I'm pulling back here. Oh, by the way, you may think you hear some Game of Thrones music in the background. Well, the story with that is that currently I'm using the music mod that was distributed by Inaris and all, which you have to download separately because of the way that things work. However, there is a chance I might put together my own music mod with like a different mixtape with different songs, but no guarantee. I'm not sure how exactly I plan on doing it. But yeah, as you can see here, these archers here are terrifying. Like, they've slaughtered, for example, these guys here start at 60 men. These knights, they're not down to 23. They're basically, these archers are death incarnate. Don't mess with them. So they've engaged the spear wall. And the spear wall, they're okay with holding if it's like against, say, men-at-arms and halberds and whatnot, but against long pikes, then they're gonna have a problem. So basically, that's sort of meant to counterbalance the whole ridiculously OP archers. So, they're engaging the Mutin phalanx right now. Oh, the Breaklands, or well, they're called the Crown Lands in Game of Thrones canon, but I call them the Breaklands here because the crown wasn't actually placed there at the time because there wasn't a king in Westeros, and so they call them the Breaklands. But anyways, so Breakland armies, they're Andals. They basically have the same armies as showed in the previous video, except instead of pikemen, they have halberds. This is partially because I wanted to give them some variety, and partially because I figured that they got conquered pretty easily by like all the Andal factions around them, and so giving them a slight roster disadvantage I think made sense, like lore-wise. So I'm gonna converge on these guys. I'm probably not gonna show you the whole battle just because it's gonna take a little while, but yeah. So these knights are still terrifying. I've sort of made the like levies and stuff less powerful to counterbalance things, but yeah, so these maiden pool knights are basically a big factor in crushing first-man armies, and being able to micromanage your cavalry. If you're good at that, then I would say definitely try an Andal faction. You're gonna like them. My center is doing okay, but sort of falling apart order-wise, and their knights are moving in, so I'm gonna move in some of my heavy, well not heavy, but spear infantry to try and fix things up there. And I think it's about time to commit the cavalry as well, so charge it! Let's shoot those crossbowmen.
Only half the enemy force remains.
And yeah, so yeah, this is the first men. Yeah, and then they're breaking, yeah.
The battle is very much in our favor.
Show you
if we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
So this is just one of a total of 29 different factions in this mod. It should be coming out relatively soon. I'm gonna keep posting previews on the forum and all if you want to see minor things. I just posted one recently about some settlement changes I've been making, like putting the area actually on top of a mountain and stuff, and giving a little path up to it and all that. So yeah, come check it out. Admiral Thrawn signing off.